get, okay, we're on air. All right. I see we're on air now. I guess the guys, the little picture for letting everybody know that we're going to be live today kind of showed the pizza box. So I don't know why, but I got Adams in here, and so get this, Angie, and there's an echo. Good thing we're going to check that now to make sure I got the other screen off. I'm off. Do you have another window open? No. Still echo? Hey, Sonia, Misha. Oh no, it was my daughter had two open. Runs in the family. So anyway, I want to thank everybody that's coming in. Hey, Selena, Sonia, and Misha, and Angie, and Adam. Today we have a very special treat. I'm given the opportunity to finally interview somebody that doesn't sell jewelry. And I think that's dope, man. That's cool. Because you know what? There's other things out there other than jewelry. And I couldn't have picked a better guest to ask to come on today with you and a fat. And I'm going to butcher her name. Amelia, right?
Yes.
Amelia, also known as Amelia Sells.
Yeah.
So I've got all of her information in the description down below. I have her YouTube channel, her eBay store, and her Poshmark closet. So we want to get this thing going here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over to Amelia, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got the name down. That's a bonus. We're going to turn it over to Amelia. And what I would like her to do is just introduce herself, give a little bit of background. And if you guys have any questions for her, please type like a question marks before and after the question. So I'll know, because I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chat. But without further ado, here's Amelia Sells.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amelia. I've been reselling for about 4 years, and I mainly do hard goods. I did start doing clothing a little bit at the middle of last year. I'm still not very good at it, but I'm trying. But I mostly do vintage hard goods is what I really like to sell. I live in Kansas, a real small town. And that's me. I don't know.
So how'd you get started in the how'd you get started with the reselling? Because I noticed you don't, like you said, you just do hard goods. You don't do the jewelry. You get into the other stuff, and I've seen your stores. And guys, I'm going to be putting the links into the chat, so you can go check out if you want while she's doing the interview. First one is her channel. I want to tell everybody, please go click on this link. It should open it up in a new window, and go subscribe to her and hit that thumbs up so you can get notifications, because she does some really cool videos. But anyway, back to how'd you get? I mean, I know a little bit of history. You're kind of like in a small town. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's like gazillion hours either direction to get to anything, and you know, and I understand your hubby. He's all in when it comes to the sourcing. He gets into that. He digs that. But how did you get started into doing the reselling? Was it a need, or you just love collecting? You love selling?
Well, it's kind of actually by accident. So I was working a retail job I didn't like, and I decided it was stressing me out. So I ended up quitting, because I'm like, I can always find another job, right? There's tons of jobs. So I was kind of doing like some small jobs here and there. And then I started actually scrapping like metal out of electronics a little bit, which is really hard. I would not suggest anybody doing it. You don't make a lot of money doing it. But It was just I started it kind of like a hobby to make a little bit extra. Plus it was fun. I like to, do that kind of stuff a little bit. But then I was watching a scrapping video, and somebody was talking about selling stuff on eBay. I'm like, I love thrifting. I can do that. So that's kind of how I started. I started going to lots of auctions, probably started selling like the two worst things you could even sell on eBay to get money because it was the cheapest things at the auctions, which was Tupperware and Avon. So also wouldn't recommend selling that stuff. And it took me a long time to learn, you know, because I actually didn't know there was a reselling community until about last year, a little bit before last year on YouTube, which is crazy because I learned about reselling on YouTube, but I never like looked into it.
So the Avon and Tupperware is not your bread and butter then?
I do still swear, but not all Tupperware. It has to be very unique, and it doesn't go for a whole lot, but I can usually get it for like 10 cents. So it has to be really interesting pieces, not like just any containers or, you know, it has to be different.
Now, I know this is your office, right? But then you've got another room. Now, guys, if you haven't seen the video, you need to go check out this video. Behind her, when she was doing I think it was a Wednesday chat or something, you were showing a product, because I want to get into that about the Wednesday. This room had like wall-to-wall eBay boxes, already made, boxes already up. And then somebody asked the question, has that got stuff all in it? I mean, this room, you pre-box everything, don't you?
Yes. There is a few items I don't, and it's more like the paper goods, like music, sheet music, things that I know what they're going away and they can go into just one tote. But everything else gets pre-boxed. And I call it my inventory room. I also do my photos in there because there's quite a few windows. But that actually was my office. I was working in there too. Funny story. This was actually my office was my bedroom. And we ended up moving the bedroom to another room and making this me and my husband's joint like office space where I could have more room for my inventory.
So you mentioned the husband's joint office. So how's he? You know, because a lot of spouses aren't into it. You know, they're not. They just like tell either the husband tells the wife, "Ah, just go do what you're doing," or the wife's like, "Hey, you go do what you." But I mean, what's his part in it? Because I'm getting I kind of understand that he does like to do some stuff, but he don't like the heavy lifting, right?
Yeah, he likes thrifting and like helping me look stuff up. But that's about it. He just he has an office in here too because he works from home. But it's mostly my office. But he just likes thrifting mostly. He likes to thrift. So.
Well, that's a bonus. You know, yeah. That helps you out. Let's see, Gail. I'm going to go right into some of these questions. Gail Resources has a question for you. She says, "What is your favorite hardwood item to sell?"
Like hard good item?
I guess that's what she meant. Or do you have anything that's made out of hardwood that? I mean, you said hard goods.
Yeah, my favorite hard good item. Oh my, I don't know. There is one item that I like to look out for at like yard sales, but I don't find it very often. It's actually a camera, and it's I found two this year, which was really surprising, especially in Kansas. And it's called Nishka or something like that, and it's a vintage camera that's supposed to like look like the Japanese when, you know, cameras were coming from Japan and they had that special look, vintage look, or whenever they were coming over from Japan and people were really into those cameras. Well, this one's actually was made in the US to look like that and mimic that, but it's not like really that spectacular of a camera. But they're one of my favorite things to find if I can find them, but it takes luck, I guess, really.
Now, I know you said that you live in a small town in the middle of nowhere. So, like, you don't have any bins around. You got any nearby Goodwills, local mom and pop thrift stores? I mean, when you go thrifting, how long does it usually take you?
Okay, so first of all, the town I live in, it's like a town of like 150 people. So it's real small. There's nothing. I mean, there's a few things here, but not anything shop wise. So, my closest town with a Goodwill and like a Salvation Army is 17 miles away. But they're not the greatest. So Another town is also about 17 miles away. It has like a community thrift where I go a lot, but I also go to auctions sometimes and garage sales. I haven't done as many auctions as I like to, like going to auctions this year, but I used to go all the time into doing that in the new year. So, and that's about 23 miles away. So, and really in Kansas would you say 17, 20, 30, 40 miles away. It's not really, to me, that's not really that far because it's just the norm, I guess.
Like driving to go get a gallon of milk, and that's
yeah.
So a town, you said your town's 150. So do people actually do have garage sales there?
We actually have like a small like they used to have like a city like wide. I haven't really seen it in the last few years. I usually have to go to the bigger town in the county to go to the garage sales and stuff in the summer.
Cool. Anybody got any questions to Amelia? This is your chance now, guys, because this is a non-jewelry person. So, I mean, you could pick her brains on anything hard goods. We already know that Tupperware you should stay away from, and Avon, and for good reasons.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Bridget, New York Picker. I'm glad you're here. She says, "I hear you, Amelia. I drive about 2 hours for my local auctions." So, like when you said the auctions, that's like, are those like, does the pricing get high? I mean, can you still get like a box of stuff? Do you bid on a box of stuff, or is it just individual items?
I usually do like box lots. Like when I first started reselling, my main sourcing was auctions, and I was like, I was like the person that like waited in the back to let everybody pick the box they want for $2 or $3, and then they'd be like, okay, everything else on the, and that was me. I'd be like, yeah, sure, and then I'd pick through it, find things worth selling, and basically get rid of the rest, or
Right on.
But they some of the stuff goes high, but it's not too bad. I used to get a lot box slots for $1 and stuff, and if you don't find stuff that's like worth if you don't find stuff that's like worth a whole lot, you can always, the box lots usually have similar items together, so always lot it up, and make it worth more for your time.
Gail has another question. She says, how long have you been selling?
About 4 years. Yeah, about 4 years.
Is that online, been selling 4 years on eBay?
Yeah, on eBay. I started on eBay, and then I just, like I said, this last year recently got into selling clothes on Posh. So,
how do you like Poshmark?
It's okay. I'm learning about clothes. I'm not very good at it, but I'm learning. It's just a lot different. I was like one of those sellers that was like, I'm never selling clothes. And yeah, here I am trying to sell clothes too.
Yeah, we all say I'm never selling this and that. The next thing you know, somebody goes to your eBay store, your Etsy store, Poshmark, and they go, "Hey, what's up? I thought you weren't going to sell that stuff." Well, it is what it is. Misha Renee says, "Do you buy online?" Like, I guess that would be your sourcing. Do you source online?
Actually, no, not really, but I'm trying to. I just actually bought or did an online auction through like a auction website that I bid on a few things and won and went and picked them up. So I'm trying to incorporate that more into my sourcing. I'm trying to find more sources to source from this year. Actually, that's like my biggest goal, because last year I hit a spot where I have a pretty large death pile of inventory, because I do live in a small town and I don't get out as often to source. So I like to have that back stock. But last year I got down to like one bin, and I was like really getting scared because I wasn't finding my normal sources. So I'm really trying to expand where I'm sourcing from this year.
How can you like run out of stock? Remember all those boxes behind you with all that stuff? I
meant like to list stuff I was running out of things to list.
Oh, list stuff to list. Yeah. Okay. Adam Exploits has a question for you. He says, Amelia, what do you use to find auctions? Auctionzip.net or something else?
I actually use our shoppers to find auctions. It's you guys know what a shoppers is? It's a
You'll have to
free
teach me because I don't know what.
newspaper. It's usually free. The counties usually put it out, and it has all the local auctions listed in it. And I know, like in Kansas, almost all counties put them out. I don't know about other places, but yeah, it's just you can get online and look up like your shoppers for that county or town or whatever, and usually you can find them online, or like we get it in our mailbox every week. So, and it has all the local auctions. So,
I saw a question up here from So Get This. She says, "Are you interested in doing storage auctions?"
Yes, one of the auctions the main one I go to, it's usually at an auction house, but they do storage auctions at storage facilities like once or twice a year, and that is like one of my dreams / goals is to buy a storage unit. I just haven't found one that I really want to buy yet.
So,
and
but
I
you've
don't want
actually
to travel
gone to
a
them?
long way.
You've actually gone to one?
Like the auctions? Yeah.
Like the store? No, I mean a storage auction. You've actually gone to a storage auction and checked
like
it
a
out?
storage unit auction. I've been to a couple.
Do they go for that crazy price like you see on TV with the
Not
storage wars and all that, or is it like pretty reasonable?
here, not really, because we're so. I mean, not. I think the most I've ever seen one bid up to was like 500, but it had a Mustang in it. So,
Oh wow!
I mean, that was like the highest that I've seen in our local area. So.
All right. Let me see if we got any more questions. Misha says we've got a shopper here in my little Texas town, so obviously she knows what you're talking about. And I know, so get this, I know my daughter's father-in-law. He calls those auctions. That's why she asked. He's an auctioneer here in Texas. I'm a little curious then. So since everything, well, for us, it would seem like everything's so far apart. For you, it's just like getting in the car and go getting a gallon of milk. So do you go out on a regular, I don't remember if you said this earlier or not, because I'm trying to watch the questions. Do you go out on a regular basis, like once a week, twice a week, or when you do go out, if it's a later time, is that when you like do a mass buy? You try to gobble up everything you can see, so you have that pile to list.
Yeah. Like we usually go thrifting like once a week, and we usually go to the small town thrift, which is about 17 miles, and then we go like the back way to the bigger town and hit all the thrift stores up. I think round trip is probably like, I don't know, 45 miles or so. And we try to hit all the spots, and then like in the summer, if there's any garage sales, we'll like do a mass garage sale, like run. And when we go to the bins, because the bins are about hour and a half, hour 45 minutes away from me, when we go, we are there for like hours. We're there for a day, because I'm not, we just go.
So the vehicle comes back loaded down.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's smart. Okay, everybody's curious about that doll by the door. They want to know what the name of the doll is behind you by the door.
She don't have a name. I actually bought her at a church sale, and she's.
You mind showing her?
Creepy. Yeah, I'll show her.
You mind showing the creepy doll?
Yeah.
At least we're lucky for my daughter. It's not a clown, so she'll be all right.
Okay, so I bought her like at
that's old.
Yeah, at a church. Her eyes are all cracked, and I wasn't really paying attention when I bought her. She wasn't very much, and she has like missing fingers. So I decided I'd just keep her because she wasn't worth very much with her missing fingers. Last week she scared me when I came in here to turn on the light because I just forgot she was there, and I could see some light from the other rooms, and I jumped back. So my husband really doesn't like her either.
So she listing stock, or she just there to? I mean, it's kind of cool that you saved her. I mean, she could have ended up in a landfill,
Yeah, she's just there to be decoration right now. I like different stuff. So like I like to collect kind of different things, I guess. A little bit interesting things. So,
you had an interesting thing the other day. You do this show called Wednesday, like
What the Heck Wednesday?
yeah, What the Heck Wednesday. And when I first went to watch that, I was like, well, what the heck Wednesday? What is that? And then I saw a couple, and then the last one, you showed this really unusual. I thought it was. I kind of had an idea, but I wasn't sure, and all the guesses were going all over the place.
This thing?
But this is that, and then it wasn't then there was the yellow one too.
Yeah, that one. That was the one before. This was the
But
last
what the
one.
heck is that? Is that the bottom off? Oh no, that's is
No,
that
it's like,
a lift to like move a box or something? Or oh, I know what
no,
that is.
this is
Carpet,
it's a
carpet
carpet
stretcher.
stretcher. Yeah,
That's vintage. That's old.
it is old. I got this at that auction I just bid it on. I got this and another tool for $1, I think. So, pretty nice.
So, have you ever bought something for the What the Heck Wednesday and you didn't know what it was and was able to find out that the community pull together and say, hey, I know what that is?
Not yet. I have showed things that I don't know what it is though. And I still don't know what they are. But most lately I've been trying to find things that I kind of know what they are, or I've done enough I can research, because some stuff has like no markings and you just can't. I have no way to research it. So but I have had a few that I'm not sure what they are still. So
is that carpet stretcher going to get listed?
yeah, it is. I just have to.
So how would you value something like that? I mean, does hubby help you by researching to find out if he can find out like if it's real vintage, or
He helps
is
me
there
like
ways to
research.
find out?
Well, he helps me research price and stuff, and just through comps. And also, this one, I'm lucky. This one actually has like a paragraph about it on it, like the instructions.
Oh wow!
So it has the brand and stuff. So this one wasn't too hard to figure out. But and then like I also use there's like collector websites you can use. I don't have any like specific ones. Just searching online, I find the information out. So comps
That's
and
some
stuff.
crazy. That's some crazy stuff. You buy some crazy things. I would have never saw any value in a carpet stretcher, especially an older one. I would have just looked at it and thought, I'm surprised somebody didn't put that in a burn barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because it's like, who uses those nowadays? They do
Probably,
other stuff.
yeah, more just decor than anything.
I wonder though if there's a market for that kind of stuff, if people actually collect those things. If you sell it, you've got to do a video on it if it sells.
Okay, I will.
That
I have sold stuff that I've shown in my What the Heck like Wednesdays. Like I had a telegraph the old telegraph machine that I had shown, and then I sold it that week, which was nice. So
yeah, because that one I saw was that yellow thing. That was an upholstery stretcher, right?
yeah.
Did that sell, or is it still?
I have not yet listed that yet. I'm kind of
you're saving the listing pile. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Selena Lowe says, do you like living in a small town? I love living in a small town. What do you like better, thrift or auction?
Ooh, I love living in a small town. I actually like living just in the middle of nowhere. I could not live in a town and live in the country. I'd be happy, but I like living in our small town. We did live in like the bigger town of the county, and we were lucky enough to get to move out here. But I really like auctions. I just don't get to go to them enough. So usually I have to rely on like the thrift stores more, but I really love going to auctions.
Okay. Let me see here. We got another question that came up. Amelia, do you feel that a small town makes a difference in selling and buying?
Yes. One way I think it does is, the sourcing. You have to go further to find things, and you have to also, like where I'm at, there's not like a lot of big ticket items, I guess. So you just have to kind of make do with what you got and figure it out. You know, maybe you have to list more of lower end items, you know, to make more, you know, the money or whatever. So I just feel like really anywhere you are, you have to kind of figure out what's going on, you know, like what you can do within your location, because it's all about, you know, what's people are putting in the thrift stores at your location or at auctions. You know, I live in Kansas, so we have like a lot of farm auctions and, you know, things like that. And also in this my small town, at least, the selling part is a little different. I mostly you know, how I pre-pack and stuff. One reason I pre-pack is because our post office is open 4 hours a day. And so I kind of, I also have kind of I put a longer handling time on because, just in case. I mean, it's open 4 hours a day. I don't want to have to drive 17 miles to mail a small package if something happens, or my internet company's here. If the internet goes out, the whole town's out of internet. So,
wow.
And I don't get signal on my phone, so I can't use my phone to print labels. So I started doing like 2-day handling time, which, you know, might affect my sales a little bit, but I think it just took a lot of stress off of me. So, but I do try to get them out the day after they sell.
Well, I was going to ask you about the handling time, because I know that eBay has this thing about they would like you to do it one day, but I think they give up to 15. You can get up to as much as 15-day handling time. So the 2-day doesn't affect your feedback and any of that. And
well, no, because I try to get it out the very next day, so it gets there about, you know, the same time it would if it was one day, and they can see it's getting shipped. That's more of just a precaution, because like if my internet's out, I have no way to print labels, or who knows what happens, and I miss getting my package to the post office, because, you know, we don't have mail delivery here either, so everything's through the post office. So I just don't want to, you know, life happens sometimes. And
so you can't schedule a pickup then for the post office? They don't come out to the house at all?
No, we don't have, our mail doesn't deliver to our house. We just all our whole town has PO boxes.
So all those eBay boxes that you have back there, then you had to go down to the post office to pick those up, or does UPS deliver to your area? I mean,
yeah, UPS, like, to get them in the mail, they deliver to the house. I think it's UPS. I don't think Fed one of them comes through the post office, so it's not UPS. I think FedEx goes actually through the post office. Like, they drop it off in the big town and then they bring it to the post office. But yeah, they actually do come. But there's been sometimes I've got wrong packages and stuff, because not a lot of houses here are actually marked with numbers. So like,
oh really?
After the first like few months of living here, because my house wasn't, I went out there and I put big numbers up, for they knew not to deliver the wrong packages.
That's crazy. So you were getting other people's packages and then having to run them down. And so what is it like? We're down a quarter mile down the road, take a left, fallen oak tree just on the other side is the house on the right. Is that kind of?
Well, we have streets. It's just that the numbers are kind of difficult to find.
Well, Misha just makes a comment here. She says, same here with the internet. I'm so glad you are doing this interview. Inspiring. Yeah, you know what, guys? Amelia, it is inspiring, because this shows you that there's another life other than jewelry or other than electronics. You know, there's the person that looks for it all, you know, and she's working within what she has, and she's a success. I mean, I don't know how to gauge. You can't gauge success by looking at the video with all the eBay boxes behind her, because you would think like, oh my God, she's a hoarder, like I am, but it's not, you know. So now, do you strictly just use the eBay boxes, or do you use regular boxes?
I use regular boxes. Those are mostly just from my, you know, free boxes I get every quarter. I use regular boxes mostly, though. I get them, like, I have places I can get them free. So not like, my best tip is, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on boxes and you don't want to dumpster dive for boxes, just go ask your local like Dollar Trees or the stores, like, hey, when's your truck day? and go in there and ask, hey, can I have the boxes, you know? And they're be more usual here. They're more happy to be like, yeah, sure. Saves them a trip to the dumpster.
So I didn't know that about truck day. That must be delivery day, and then they put inventory up, right? And
yes.
they have no problem giving you whatever boxes. It just makes it easier for them.
Yeah, you know, just ask, and if they say, worst they can do is say no, right? So
And it beats crawling into a dumpster. So
yeah.
see, now that's a good tip, guys. I didn't know anything about that, or even going in and asking, hey, can you got any boxes you want to get rid of? I suppose you could do the same thing with bubble wrap and packing peanuts and.
I don't know. I just go for boxes. Then I use I get my bubble wrap like at Staples. So I buy when I wait till I get like a coupon in the mail and I go buy it. So or I look for deals. But
When Misha's asking, did you say any other sites besides eBay and Poshmark? I think that's all she sells on, Misha. That's the only links that I have in the description. So you don't do anywhere else.
well, I have a store on Etsy and I was like doing that for a little bit, but I'm changing it now. So I'm like moving everything off Etsy and I'm going to try to do a vintage pattern store over there. I don't know how that's going to go. I just have tons of vintage patterns and I've sold them over there before. So I might
Cool. You
try
mean
it.
the sewing patterns for the clothes?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
From
those
like,
actually they sell.
yeah, they don't sell for a lot though, but the thing is Etsy's a little bit cheaper, you know, to list on over there for longer. So it just depends. Some of them sell for a lot, some of them don't. But I have a lot from like the 40s and like older ones that I want to that go for a little bit. So
See, now that shows my ignorance because the earliest I remember sewing patterns was my mom, like in the 60s. I didn't think they even went back that far to
oh,
the
they
30s, 40s, and 50s like that.
yeah, they do. They and a lot of them, the older ones, they don't even have like you know, sewing patterns have print on them where you like cut and you sew and everything, and they don't even have that. They're just pieces of tissue paper. A lot of them are. So
Wow.
really, yeah.
So Anna's got a question there. I don't know if you can answer this. She says, Amelia, name of mailman.
I don't know like my mailman's name. I know my the mail lady, but um the actual person that delivers, I'm not sure. But they're great. I love my post office. So
Well, that's cool though. I mean, and you know them, so I'm sure if they got something and they thought it was like important that you should have it, they'd probably give you a call, wouldn't they, and say, hey, you better get down here.
yeah, I really well, and they know I'm in there like every day, so and they're just real nice. But like the ones that like I was talking about that aren't like they deliver the wrong packages, usually like the UPS, FedEx, and stuff, just because it's a small town and like GPSs don't always work, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. Hey, Dia, thank you for putting up Amelia's channel. Francis, she says just sub to Amelia. Right on. You guys, make sure you get over there and you sub to her. She's got great content. She's got a great channel. I had a whole bunch of questions, and I'm just amazed with the stuff you've told so far. It's kind of had a brain fart. So if anybody has any other questions, I'd really like for us to pick her brain if we can, because I see her constantly working. I mean, when she's on YouTube and doing her video live, she's working. She works hard. She takes pictures. And did you put the creepy doll back, or did it move? Because
No,
that spot's empty.
It's still right
okay.
here.
So, all right, because Dio was like, put it away, put it away. And then I thought you put it back there behind you, and then I don't see it back there. And I thought,
No, she's
that's
right.
like Children of the Corn stuff. That's freaky.
Yeah, she's.
So, I know you said your husband works from home, and I know you said he's going out of town. When he goes out of town, does he ever like call you up and say, hey, hon, I ran across this or I ran across that? Does he send you like text you a picture or something and say, hey, do you want me to buy this? Or does he kind of like go out on the hunt for you when he's out there on his own doing his regular work?
He doesn't like go to like thrift stores by himself that much, but like he does like if he sees something online because he's on like Facebook and stuff. I'm not really on Facebook that much, but like they have the marketplace. Sometimes he'll see stuff and be like, "Hey, look at this," or like a sale, or And then he also hears since he works in a bigger town. Like he works in like a big town about and over a little bit over like an hour away probably. And so sometimes he sees like flyers for sales, or he'll hear about sales in even smaller towns around us that I haven't heard of. So he's always like keeping his, listening and looking and, see if there's anything he can do to help, basically. Maybe find sources and stuff.
Well, that's cool that he gets involved. At least he shows the interest. This is going to be a question off topic because I watched a video the other day as I was going through binge watching the videos you got, and there's this one where you and your husband were walking or driving and then stopping. I forget what you call it, but you were finding these things that had papers in them, and then you would sign names. Can you say a little? Because I know you've got to have a hobby outside of the selling. You've got to have something you enjoy doing, and that really intrigued me. That driving all over and seeing the area and then finding these things.
Yeah, they're called geocaches, and they're like little. It's like a treasure hunt, basically. And they're little containers that people place anywhere, public land mostly, public where they can place them. And you use I used to not have a phone for a really long time, actually. So we would like write down the clues to find it, but you actually use your phone. The app, they have like GPS locations of it, and you can go to it and find it. And then inside, a lot of times there's like little trinkets inside of them. Some of them are real small and they just have the paper. But if you want one of the trinkets, you have to replace it with another trinket. And then you write your name and when you found it on the paper and log it on the app, and then you go find the next one. So, and they're everywhere. When I've lived in Kansas most of my life, but we did move. We lived in Korea for a little bit when my husband was stationed over there. And they even had geocaches in Korea. So we were even doing it there. So they're everywhere. I mean, anywhere.
So your husband's ex-military?
Yeah.
What branch of service?
He was in the Army.
Army. Well, God bless him. When you get done with the interview, please tell him thank you for serving. We've got a lot of veterans that are resellers in that watch. I'm retired Air Force. So, tell him thank you. Korea was the one place I never got to go to. I ended up going to Europe, but to think they do the same thing. And I wonder if it's an American then that brought that to there, or if that started over there.
There's everywhere, all over the world. It's just an app, and anybody can do it. I think it's just, I don't know. It was interesting though that we found them over there. It's just on the map, and they just have them all marked everywhere. And I like it because you get to see a lot of the area anywhere you go. It's mostly like interesting places. Yeah.
That's cool. And I did enjoy watching it. Like when you found the one like off the side of the road, about underneath the tree, and you guys had me through the whole thing until you got to the graveyard.
Yeah.
So you got to the cemetery. I was like, this is getting a little creepy.
Well, in my county, they have. It's a pretty small county, but there's like over 30 cemeteries.
What?
And a lot of people don't know about them, and they did like a whole series on them of these geocaches just to kind of remember them, and for people can go visit them, and pay respects and stuff.
That's cool. But 30 cemeteries?
There's a lot. There might be even more. It was crazy. Yeah, we've done them, not all of them, but quite a few of them.
That's cool. Does anybody have any questions for Amelia? I know that I know just from watching her videos, she's got some good information, guys. I'm running out of. Because I'm always used to asking people about jewelry. I've never seen anybody hold up a carpet stretcher before. I've never seen it. Well, I've seen people hold up creepy dolls. and clowns and things like and Dia Immortal Hourglass is still going on about the doll. She feels it's looking over her shoulder right now. She's freaking out. But I don't know.
A few more things to show if I can.
Oh yeah, would you got some good, cool? Are these the Wednesday items or are these recent?
These are just funky items. I don't know how else to explain. I like interesting things, so they're kind of interesting items. Not some of them aren't worth a lot, but they're cool. And I've sold most of them in this genre that I'm going to show. So
now, do you ever, when you find these cool things, do you ever like say, I really want to keep that?
actually, I'm going to show you one that's actually mine that I've sold one like similar.
Okay, you kept. Okay, cool. I'm ready.
Okay, so this I always like to pick up acrylic, like the acrylic vintage decorations. A lot of them are like napkin holders.
Yeah, my grandma used to have.
This
my grandma
one
used to have stuff like that.
Yeah, this one is an owl. I collect vintage owls, so which are kind of creepy, and this one's pretty creepy. But it's made out of a walnut. I like to find I found like a one with seashells in it, and it sold pretty well. It's a napkin holder. Sometimes the flower ones don't do the greatest, but because there's so many of them, I like this interesting stuff in this acrylic plastic does pretty well for me. A lot of times, if it's more functional, I do better. So
that is cool.
This is my personal collection though of owls. And then I also like, you guys probably think it's really weird. I also like butterfly art.
Oh my gosh, what's butterfly art?
It is old vintage things with butterflies in them.
Cool.
The wings, it's just the wings.
Real butterfly
and then
wings.
They use they use paper for the body though. And most of these are probably and this is a whole coaster set with the plate. I have two of them actually. I was lucky I found two. These are more generic ones.
So they're not vintage?
These are vintage, yes. But they're more generic vintage ones. They sold a lot of these, made a lot of these. But the butterfly art that's a little bit more unique does pretty well. So here's the platter. A lot of times you find them in acrylic also. Actually, I don't know where it's at. I have a paperweight with a butterfly in acrylic. But yeah, they're just different. I just like different things.
So it's owls and butterflies.
These are things I'm selling though. I don't keep the butterfly stuff. The only reason I have the butterfly paperweight is I had it since I was real little. But that kind of stuff. And then I do have one clothing piece just to show my I look for funky clothing too sometimes.
Oh, look at that.
And
that is cool.
Stitches. I just got done cleaning this one up a little bit. Had some spots, but I like interesting, different things. Like I said, and I'm also trying to get into some vintage paper stuff a little bit. So things like this I'll pick up. I don't know how much these really go for, but I'm just trying to find some different things. So
that's old advertising. That's old advertising. That stuff usually does pretty good.
Yeah, I have a lot of magazines I'm going to be going through here sometime.
That's in really good shape.
Yeah, it has some stains. It's kind of, and I think it was cut out of something. I think it looks like it was, but I'll give it a try. But I'm actually trying to get a little bit smaller stuff, but it's really hard to limit yourself, I think.
So now you held that jacket up and you said you had some spots on it. I know we do have some clothes sellers in here. Do you when you sell the clothes, do you wash them after you get them, or do you just spritz them with something, or what do you do to spot clean where it maybe doesn't cause a color fade, or change anything on the?
That one I actually washed. I used is it like grandma's stain remover or something? It's like a little, mine's a little bottle, but you can get it in spray too, and it works great. And I washed that one, and then I air dried that one because it was a jacket. But it just depends what shape it's in and where I get it from. If I'm going to wash it completely, a lot of like the small town thrifts, most of them come to the thrift wash. I mean, you can just tell if they've been washed or not, I think. But like the bins, most of the time I wash that stuff. But
well, no, that's good to know, because I mean, I don't wash anything, because I know people have allergic reactions to softener sheets, and
I
it's real
don't use
crazy
that.
out there. So
Yeah, I use like a very simple.
What was the name of that spot thing again? Misha's asking.
It's like grandma's stain remover or something. I got it at Walmart actually. So, and mine's in a little tube, but they do have a spray bottle or a little. Yeah, they have a spray bottle of it too. And that's what
Misha did have a question earlier. So you don't sell any jewelry at all? I mean, if you see, like, say you're at a thrift store and you see a collectible brooch or something, if the price is right, I mean, would you pass over that, or rings, or would you pass over that stuff and just stick with what you've been collecting?
No, I will sell anything. I don't, and I love vintage stuff, and I try to sell the mostly vintage, but I even sell newer, I sell like, one of my other favorite things to sell are like monster high dolls because they sell good for me.
Mobster what?
High dolls, they're like monster Barbie dolls, basically.
Oh, okay.
They're not vintage, but they sell good. I sell really anything, but my main focus is vintage. But if I for right price or cool earrings or whatever, I will pick it up if I think it's a good price. So
okay, this is going to be an eBay question, because I did go to your eBay store and I saw a lot of cool stuff. I mean, you've got this collection of, I mean, it's like all over the place. So there's no reason why anybody couldn't type in a search term and find something they're looking for. But knowing, because I always ask anybody that sells on eBay, with the influx of the Chinese sellers, and I'm not picking on any group of people, so everybody relax, because eBay did make a deal and they let the Chinese guys flood in. They get a break from our government with the shipping or the customs or whatever. I mean, they get a break. Do you think that you're so niched in that vintage and the eclectic and just unusual, the true, like how eBay used to be? It was the mom and pop yard sale. It was the garage sale place. And do you think that that's kind of protects you from those mass buyers or mass sellers that can sell like brand new toys or the brand new TVs or the brand new collectibles? Do you kind of feel like you're protected by that? I mean, do you see those types of sellers affecting your sales at all?
not really. Just because I just sell totally random stuff. Like I don't really have super like niche type thing in my store. It's just random vintage. The only thing I could think maybe is like they come like if something's coming back into style, like and they start, producing that. That's the only thing I could think. Maybe, like the caboodles, they just came back. Makeup boxes, they just came back into style and they started making those again. So the vintage ones aren't worth, as much as they used to be because they can get brand new ones that look exactly like them. So.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody realizes I wasn't picking on any one group of people. It always seems to be that it always turns that way, or it affects the sales or the fees or this and that. So, and what are you thinking about the new postal increase? Of course, that doesn't really affect you, does it? Because you do calculated, right?
Yes, that I am so glad that I do calculated. That's my thought about it, because I think that's just going to be a headache because having all those different prices for first class it's going to take some time to get used to. But if you don't since I do calculate, I'm not too worried about it because I pre-box and I know what it's going to cost and everything. I don't have to figure that out. but I think this might be a headache if you don't do calculated, or, you know, I do some free shipping, but very little. So
yeah, I don't do calculated because I don't have the time to box and weigh, and then I'm already getting yelled at because you can't walk around the house. I got all my stuff is all over it. I'm not as organized as you, with the boxes and everything like that. I got to commend you on that. You have great organizational skills. So I'm going to be
a lot of time though to
oh yeah, I imagine it does.
That's probably my downfall, actually. I'd rather spend that time listing, but just my circumstances, I feel like it's better for me to pre-box, that way I know I have a box for the item. So
how, I mean, so then what's your process? You've already got your item. Is it doing the comps first, and then the pictures, then the listing, or the pictures, then boxing it, marking it so you know where it's at, then the listing? I mean, because I could see, for me, a mishap in shipping the wrong item to the wrong person. Have you ever had that happen?
Nope. Okay. So what I do when I get an item is I actually handwrite my information. This is my pad, because I try to do like Excel spreadsheets and stuff, and I just can't do it. So I handwrite it. It's just 4 columns. Put what it is, if there's any issues, where I got it from, how much it cost, and when I package it, I put the weight. So when I go to list, I do photos, comps, I package it up, and then I list, basically. And when I go to listing, I don't even need the item in front of me. I have everything I need on this piece of paper. And then how I organize it is each box has a letter number combination, or, on it. And then each area in my office, each shelf has its own letter. So I know it gives me a shorter area to look through for that item, because, each shelf has its own letter. That way I'm not like digging through tons of stuff to find the item. And then I do open it up because I put packing slips in my boxes.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
I always have. So I open it up and I can see if it's the item, where I can put a packing slip, and I write on the packing slip, thank you for your purchase or whatever. And so I kind of have a problem where I have to double check stuff. So it keeps me from getting anything really messed up, I guess. I have missed before, which is like a nightmare. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you've got it together. I mean, I haven't done old school paper work like that in years, so I'm very impressed.
I can't. And this is my inventory, my big inventory. Like, after it goes to here, it goes into my binder. This is all the inventory I ever have sold, had on eBay. And when I get done, I go in every so often. I mark off the items that sold, like when I'm watching TV, like when I'm not doing anything. But I can't. I'm very I like writing stuff down and doing it that way.
There's nothing wrong with that. So
yeah.
One more eBay question. Are you the type of seller, the minute something sells and you ship it, do you give feedback? Or do you wait till you get feedback before you give feedback, knowing you can't give a customer a negative? They're going to get a positive anyway. But I found that if I gave the feedbacks right away, I had an increase in either order cancellation or returns. So I don't do that anymore. So I haven't had any returns or cancellations.
Yeah. I think, or I have it set up automatically. Like when they leave me a feedback, I have 4 different generic feedback things that it automatically leaves them the feedback. So it's cool. I think I have it set up automatically. When they leave it, it automatically leaves it. So, and it just goes through those forces, and I go in there and change them up every now and again. So.
And do you do the same with Posh? Do you bag the clothes up when you're done, like whatever you put them in, whether they're bubble mail or poly bag, or whatever? You do the
Yeah,
same
I do.
process like you do for eBay?
I do bag them up like they're a little bit more like I'm a little bit more relaxed on that, but I try to bag them up as soon as possible. And I actually that's like the only thing that I put into, well, not the only thing, but most thing I have tubs for my Posh inventory because they're clothing. They can go in tubs. They're not gonna get hurt. And that's another reason why I pre-box, because I sell a lot of breakables, so I don't have to really worry about them falling off something, me running into a shelf and knocking them because they're already protected. But yeah, I pre-pack Posh too. I used to not weigh it because it really didn't matter, but I was cross-posting for a little bit, and sometimes I will move stuff for auctions to eBay. So I started weighing it too, just before I have that weight if I do move it over, just in case.
All right, because Amisha said that's what I was wondering, because the bundling on Posh, because the bundle well, that obviously is going to help your inventory because you're going to be moving too. But you're not. But you said though you're not cross posting the clothes on eBay, but you were.
No. I only do it like if I do have a few things, like interesting things on eBay. I only do it if I'm doing auctions. I like having separate stores for separate things. I'm not really into the whole cross posting. I know it probably would make a lot more sales if I did do it that way, but I just also I'm always afraid that I'm gonna miss it. Like I'm gonna miss that something sold and I miss taking it off. I don't know. I'm just afraid of that, I guess. But I do have a few things cross posted. But also I'm not like the best clothing person right now. Like I'm still learning. So I think Posh is a little bit more forgiving in that aspect. If you mess up, you can, message them and, it's not as big of a ding, I guess I should say, as it would be on eBay.
Yeah, eBay would ding, and I guess that's some good advice, guys. I mean, I don't do the cross posting that much because for that reason, I have a very forgetful mind. So if I sell something on Posh and then 3 days later it's like, oh wow, do I have that listed somewhere else? I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think that's a pretty good strategy. Guys, we're coming up on an hour, and well, we're getting close to an hour. Yeah. So, and I really enjoyed this. If anybody got any more questions for Amelia before we wrap this up, because I know, well, Kansas, you're in the same time zone as I am. Yeah. So it's going to be coming up 6 o'clock, and I know she's got to spend time with hubby and her two pooches. She's got a Cherwini and a min pin.
Yep, Kimchi and Bubba.
And you'll hear the min pin in her videos. He's an attention hog.
Yes.
So, but they're cute. They're cute though. So, anybody got any questions for Amelia? Because I'd like to let her have some time with her husband tonight and grab a meal. And okay, we got thank you, Mike and Amelia. That's from Adam. Just saying thank you to Mike and Amelia. All right. Well, hey, any final words of advice you might have for anybody that's thinking about selling? Because not everybody's into it. They're kind of thinking like, I got to make some money to pay the electric bill, or I got to put gas in the car, or the hubby needs a new pair of pants, or I need a haircut. You got any kind of advice for anybody just starting out?
My biggest advice would be don't do what I do. Don't go full time right away like I tried to. And just it takes a while to learn, so don't give up, because it does. I mean, I feel like I'm just now getting the hang of it, and I've been doing it for a while. It takes a while, and just don't give up on it, because you'll get there eventually. If you really want to do it, you'll get there.
Right on. Well, I'm going to say with that said, guys, I'm going to pop in here real quick. I want to thank all of you that came to not only support the channel, but to support Amelia. She's an awesome person, awesome lady, awesome person. Great. She's a great reseller. She does great content. Go over there, check the links out in the description. Check out her eBay store and her Poshmark closet. You're going to find some really cool stuff because I've been through them all. And on her YouTube channel, make sure you guys go over there, sub to her, and click that little bell, because she's pretty consistent with the with the videos, and you actually want to go see her when they go walking through the graveyards and stuff, checking for those things again. And maybe the creepy doll will go with them. Who knows?
No.
That might be kind of fun, you know, have the doll driving the car. That might be pretty cool. But because also, guys, don't forget, thank you, Adam, for mentioning this. MSP auction tonight over at Dwayne's channel, MSP auction. He's got Nevermore Antiques. That's John. And John always has some really cool stuff. He buys all kinds of stuff like Amelia does. I mean, they both buy the crazy stuff. So make sure you go over there and support them. Remember to support each other. That's what the community's about, you know. Look, it's not just about the jewelry. What did we learn today? We learned about a carpet stretcher. I mean, I would have never thought you could have sold that kind of stuff. We saw a creepy doll. I learned about the stuff in the plastic and like the owl and the butterflies and things. So there's a whole cornucopia of stuff out there. Just don't get yourself boxed into one niche. You know, maybe take some cues from Amelia, you know, and check that video out, guys, that she's got. She can see all those eBay boxes. That's some crazy stuff she's got going on there, man. I was waiting for them to fall down, but they didn't.
No,
go ahead.
I periodically kind of bounce, you know, in the room to make sure they don't fall.
So you do a shock test.
Yeah, shock test.
That's probably a good thing. So with that said, guys, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting me, supporting Amelia, supporting each other. I want to ask God to bless you guys with much success, prosperity, happy family, happy life, great health, and just know that you can do it, man. You can do what we're doing. You guys can do it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below in the description, especially when this video reloads. And with that said, we're going to see you guys in the next video. Rollin Picker out. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.